Have you ever heard the saying, "It's not over until it's over"? Well, today I am going to tell you a story about a judge who took that saying to a whole new level. This is the tale of Judge Gerald, a man known for his sharp mind and unconventional methods, who found himself in the middle of a case that everyone thought was a lost cause. But what he did next would go down in legal history. Our story begins in a small town where a local farmer named Mr. Harrison was being sued by a large corporation. The company claimed that a small stream running through Harrison's property rightfully belonged to them. They wanted to divert it for a new factory. For Harrison, this stream was his lifeblood. It irrigated his crops and watered his livestock. Losing it meant losing his family's farm, which had been passed down for generations. The corporation came armed with a team of high-powered lawyers, stacks of documents, and complex geological surveys. They argued their case with slick presentations and impenetrable legal jargon. Mr. Harrison, on the other hand, had only a local public defender, a young and earnest but clearly outmatched lawyer named Sarah. As the trial went on, things looked bleak. The corporation presented a deed from the 1800s that seemed to grant them rights to all waterways and tributaries on the land long before Harrison's family ever owned it. The mood in the courtroom was somber. It seemed like a classic David versus Goliath story, but this time, Goliath was about to win. Presiding over the case was Judge Gerald. He was an older man, with a quiet demeanor that masked a razor-sharp intellect. He listened patiently to both sides, his face unreadable. He saw the despair in Mr. Harrison's eyes and the confidence, almost arrogance, on the faces of the corporate lawyers. He knew the law was complex, and the old deed was a powerful piece of evidence. Legally, his hands seemed tied. But Judge Gerald believed the law was meant to serve justice, not just technicalities. As the final day of the trial approached, everyone expected the judge to rule in favor of the corporation. Sarah, the young defender, had done her best, but the evidence was overwhelming. That morning, Judge Gerald entered the courtroom and announced something that stunned everyone. He said, "Before I deliver my final judgment, I believe a physical inspection of the property is necessary. This court will adjourn and reconvene at the Harrison farm in 1 hour." A murmur went through the courtroom. The corporate lawyers looked annoyed, seeing this as a pointless delay. Mr. Harrison and Sarah just looked confused. What could the judge possibly hope to find? When they all arrived at the farm, Judge Gerald, still in his black robe, walked straight to the stream in question. It was a modest little stream, gurgling peacefully under the sun. The corporate executives stood by their cars, looking impatient. Judge Gerald then turned to Mr. Harrison and asked, "Mr. Harrison, how long has this stream been on your land?" Harrison replied, "As long as I can remember. Your Honor, my father and his father before him all depended on it." The judge nodded slowly. Then he did something no one expected. Bent down, scooped up a handful of water, and let it run through his fingers. He then turned to the lead lawyer for the corporation. "You claim ownership of this waterway based on an old deed, is that correct?" The lawyer, looking smug, replied, "Yes, Your Honor. The document is ironclad." "I see," said Judge Gerald, his eyes twinkling. "The deed grants you rights to waterways and tributaries. But it seems we have a fundamental disagreement on what we are looking at." He paused, letting the silence hang in the air. "You see, a waterway is a body of water. What I see here," he said, gesturing to the stream, "is simply Mr. Harrison's water, which is currently on its way to the next property. It's not a permanent body of water. It's just passing through." The corporate lawyers stared, mouths agape. They started to stammer, but, "Your Honor, that's absurd. It's clearly a stream." Judge Gerald held up a hand. "Is it? Let me propose a solution. If this waterway truly belongs to your corporation, then you are responsible for it. You must contain it. You must ensure that not a single drop of your water spills onto Mr. Harrison's property. I'll give you 48 hours to build a watertight channel to contain your waterway. If you fail to do so, and your water continues to trespass onto Mr. Harrison's land, I will have to fine your company for every single day the violation continues. Alternatively," the judge continued, a slight smile on his face, "you can drop this lawsuit. We can all agree that this is just a natural flow of water that benefits everyone downstream, including Mr. Harrison." The brilliance of his move was breathtaking. He had used the corporation's own argument against them. They owned the water. They had to control an impossible and astronomically expensive task. They would have to build a concrete channel through miles of countryside. The cost would be far more than the factory was worth. The lawyers went into a frantic, whispered huddle. They looked at the winding stream, then at the judge's calm, unwavering expression. They were trapped. Their own legal claim had become a massive liability. After a few tense minutes, the lead lawyer, his face pale, approached the judge. "Your Honor," he said through gritted teeth, after careful reconsideration, "my client has decided to withdraw the lawsuit." A wave of relief washed over Mr. Harrison, who broke down in tears of gratitude. Sarah, his young lawyer, looked at Judge Gerald with pure admiration. He had not bent the law. He had masterfully interpreted it to achieve a just outcome. He had looked beyond the words on a dusty old paper and focused on the practical reality of the situation. Back in the courtroom, Judge Gerald officially dismissed the case. He had turned a certain defeat into a stunning victory, not by finding a loophole, but by applying simple, undeniable logic. He proved that justice isn't always about who has the better lawyers or the older documents. Sometimes, it's about a wise mind seeing the truth that's right in front of everyone. This story became a local legend, a reminder that even when things seem hopeless, a little bit of creative thinking and a deep commitment to what is right can change everything. It is a testament to the fact that the best solutions are often the ones that are ingeniously simple. What do you think of Judge Gerald's strategy? Was it brilliant legal reasoning, or just a clever trick? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I love reading what you guys have to say. And if you enjoyed this story, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more tales of incredible wit and wisdom. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.